Okay, today I'm going to demonstrate how can we make a field required based on other field. Okay, by using JavaScript. I'm not going to explain business rules. By using JavaScript, how can we make one field mandatory based on other field? It's a simple JavaScript. Okay, now this is the lead record in CRM system. Let's say based on this one, if this business phone field does not contains data, I want to capture mobile phone information. Otherwise this will be made it as a required field. Otherwise, if this business phone contains data, this will be non-mandatory. That's what I'm going to show you in this video. Okay, so for this what we have to do is we need to write some JavaScript. For this, to write the JavaScript, we can navigate to advanced settings. If we click on this advanced setting, it will open this window. If you go to customization, customer system, and this will open this window. Or else you will navigate to directly on the make that power apps by creating your own solution. You can add your own solution here, and you can add your lead form, and by here itself you can do your changes. Let's say I already created one solution. This is my solution, CRM test solution. For this solution, I'm adding component. Just click on add existing component. Now I'm going to add a table. My table is lead because we are going to perform action on the lead entity. So I just selected the lead. Click on next. If you want to include all objects related to this lead entity, you can add it here. Or else if you want add metadata, you can just select this one. If you want to include all, you can click on. Just click on add. All the lead related information will be added here. Okay, this is the lead entity. So here we can able to see all the column relationship because I added all the related information, right? That's why all the forms all will be visible over here. Or else if you want only add only one lead, come here, just go back, select this lead, just remove from the solution. Okay, don't delete the component. If you delete this, if you choose this delete from environment, it will this entity will be deleted from the organization itself. It should not select it. We should not select this one. Just remove one from the solution, it will be removed. Again you have to add it. Now go click on add existing and choose table, search with lead. This is our lead entity. Next, include only metadata, add. Now the lead will be added here. If we extract this one, if you see click on, there is no forms. If you want to add existing form, you can add it here. Currently we are working on which form? This is the form indicate sales insight. I'm going to demonstrate this mandatory on sales insight form. We have, if you click on this one, these are the forms available under lead entity. Okay, now we are going to work on this lead insights. Now I'm going to add lead insight. Just click on add. This will be added to the solution. Okay, now once we added this, we added. Okay, we added the lead entity. Now we need to execute our JavaScript. For to execute our JavaScript, we need to create one web resource. JavaScript web resource we need to create. Okay, for that I selected web resource. I don't have any existing one, so we need to create the new JavaScript for this. Okay, just click on new button here, click on web resource. For this web resource, just maintain the file type as JavaScript and give some name, and this is the schema name for this solution, schema name for this web resource. Give some name, lead.js, display name lead.js, lead functions. Okay, put all the information, and here add some common function lead so here we are defining our function like this. Or else what we can do is we will do some dummy. This is I'm writing some dummy function test. Later we will replace this one because otherwise we cannot save this web resource. Okay, now see the save button will be enabled. If you remove this one, this will be disabled. That's why I'm choosing. Or else if you have JavaScript web resource file, you can choose it here. Let's say we will create one JavaScript, a sample JavaScript web resource file here itself. Then we can upload that file. Navigate to file, new file, JavaScript file. I'm adding my function name as this. Okay, so this is my function name. I'm saving this file. Saving this file as lead.js. Okay, so now I save this file. Now I'm not pasting any, I'm not copying any code. Just choose the file, your file location, where we save the file. We choose the file location, the function will be populated automatically here. Okay, and now save this file. Now here this is the way we can create our new web resource in CRM system. Okay, so now the web resource will be created here. Previously we added lead entity and we added the required form. This is our form, we added this one, and now we added the JS file. Okay, so now how can we need to write the logic, we need to implement our logic here. So based on this mobile phone, based on this business phone, if this business phone contains data, then we will make this as non-mandatory, otherwise this should be mandatory. Okay, now to make this a requirement, first we need to identify this mobile phone and business phone schema names. Schema names we can find either we can go to the customer system and we can open the entity here, and these are the entities available here. And this is the lead entity and these are the forms. Now we are working on the sales insight, correct? Just open the form. Okay, the form is open. So from here you can find the field schema. Okay, now the form will be open. Now we need to identify the schema names for mobile phone and business phone, because based on this business phone we need to mandatory mobile phone. Now select the business phone, change the click on change properties and click on details. This will be the schema name for the mobile phone. Okay, telephone 1. And if you click on mobile phone, click on change property details, mobile phone is the schema name for mobile phone. Okay, now we know what is the schema names for these two fields. Okay, now I'm closing this one for time being. Okay, now let's go to our form. Okay, now I'm writing JavaScript here. So this is my JavaScript. Here this is my function, this function, this is my function name, and this is the execution context. I will explain the what is execution context later. Okay, and this is my function name. And here, once after defining my function name, here I'm getting the context. Context in the sense, let's say when you execute any JavaScript, in the execution, if you pass the execution context to the JavaScript, whatever the fields, these are, say, if you, these are the fields available on the form, like these are the tabs and these are the fields available on the form. This will be come under execution. So if you pass the execution as a primary parameter, you can, based on this execution context, you will get all the field names like topic, schema name, whatever first name, last name, job title, all these field information will be captured under this execution context. If you pass this execution context as a primary parameter, in this execution context you will get all the information. Okay, so once we get this execution parameter, from this execution context parameter we will get the form context. Form context is nothing but this is the form, whatever the in the form, whatever the controls available, all these controls, like all these fields are nothing but a controls, right? So these controls we will get into the context. Okay, into this context, from this context we will get the form context, from the form context we will get all the attributes like this. These are the syntax from form context dot get attribute, and this is the schema name of this field, business phone, and that get value in the sense we are getting this telephone 1 value, and we are storing this value into this variable. Okay, now once we get this value into this variable, once we store this value into this variable, again what we are taking is we are getting this value as well, mobile phone, and mobile phone attributes will be, we are getting this form context dot get attribute of mobile phone, and this value we are storing into this variable. Okay, this is the syntax to get attribute value. Okay, now here we are using by if condition, we are checking whether this telephone contains data or not. If this telephone contains data, because we are getting this value, right? if this field contains data, we will get value, otherwise we will get null. So once we get the null value, obviously it will go to else part. Otherwise, if this field contains data, once we get this field, if we get this telephone value, then it will contain come into this loop, and it will make this field as mandatory. Sorry, null, and this is if this. Okay, once the telephone value contains data, then mobile phone will be non-mandatory. Otherwise, mobile phone will be mandatory. Mobile phone dot set required equals to required. This will be make this function will be make mobile phone as mandatory, and here this function will be make mobile phone as non-mandatory. Okay, so now we are calling this function. Just either you can update this function into the web resource, or else you can save that function into the web resource as well. Both we can do it, and we can, if you want to upload this web resource as a file. In the file, this is the previous file which we created. In the file you can add all this JavaScript function, and you can upload it again. Let it open. Else large. Okay, here it is already open. So this is our function. Just I'm saving this file, the same web resource file we will upload over there. Now here open the navigate to web resource, choose file. This is the file. So once we select this file, whatever the function available, those logic will be opened over here. Okay, just save this. So now we created our web resource, but how this web resource will be triggered, when this function will be triggered, that one we have to define on the form label. Okay, here on the for each form we have different triggers. We can trigger JavaScript in three ways, like form onload, field on change, form on set. Here our requirement is, if this field contains data, then this will be mandatory. If this field does not contains data, sorry, if this field does not contains data, this should be mandatory. Okay, otherwise if this field contains data, this will be non-mandatory. Correct? So which means this function we can trigger on business phone, on change, or form on load, because in form on load sometimes this field does not contains data. That time this should be mandatory. Okay, so for that reason we have to trigger our function, our logic in two scenarios: on change of this field, unload of this form, so that user will not skip to enter the information into the business form. Okay, so now, so in this case let's say, in this case this is our form. Open this form. From libraries, events, onsave, unload. Okay. So on load, we will define mobile phone. Sorry, business phone. Business phone does not contain data. This should be, and this is the event on load. We have to select the our event type is on load, and our library is lead.js. If it is not available here, just add the library over here by clicking add existing library. Lead.js, this is our library. Just select this one, click on add. Now this will be available in the library. Okay, now function. What is our function? This is our function name, and if you untick this one, this function will be disabled. This will be not this will not exist, not trigger anymore. Okay, this should be enabled, and we need to pass the execution context. The execution context in the sense, this is the first parameter, right? Which I told. So without passing this existing execution context, this function will not execute anymore, because if you pass this execution context in context, from this context we will get the form and attributes. From this form context itself we will get all the attributes, all the controls. So that is the reason we need to pass this execution context as a first parameter. We need to tick this one. Okay, now on load we will set everything, click on done. Now this is our function. This will be under onload. Okay, now I want to trigger one more scenario, like when this mobile phone, if I make it null, that time also it should trigger, right? So that is the reason we need to just select this field, and the properties will be open. Go to events. Now unchange will be came. So previously only onload, onsave will be visible. Onload and onsave events only will be visible here, right? So now the unchange event also, it is visible over here, correct? So now we will add, select event. Our event type is unchange. Our JavaScript file library is our select your JavaScript library, and add your function, pass your parameter, save. Now our JavaScript function will be triggered in two ways: on change of this field, on load of this form. Okay, now once we made all these changes, just save and publish so that it will be reflected. For publishing it will take some time. Let it publish. Now this is published. Let's see. Now load CRM. Now business phone onload business phone contains data. That way it was made as mobile phone is made as non-mandatory. Now remove this one. Let me refresh one more time. See, now I remove this one. The JavaScript function got reflected. Okay. If this phone, now the business phone field does not contain data, mobile phone got mandatory. If you put some value into business phone, this will be non-mandatory. Okay. Now if you remove this one, this will be mandatory. This is how we can do mandatory, non-mandatory based on some fields. This is how we can do it. Okay. And one more thing here, if you want to debug your JavaScript, that one also we can do it here. For that, open your JavaScript file, modify. This is our JavaScript file. For this, just add one debugger pointer by adding debugger keyword. Okay, if you put this one, the debugger will be hit. Okay, now added debugger keyword. I'm saving this one. Save and close. And navigate to Power Apps. Go to Web Resources. Select our web resource. Update our web resource with the new logic, because we added the debugger pointer, right? Once we update this one, choose this file, see if debugger is added. Now save it and publish it. Publish. By clicking on this publish button, you can publish. Once we publish, then only this will be reflect, otherwise it won't. Now do Control F5. This will be do hard refresh. Now open the debugger tools by clicking three dots, more tools, developer tools. Now developer tools got open. If this code is updated properly, then this will be triggered. Otherwise we need to do one more time refresh. Okay, it seems it's not required. Control F5, can't do Control F hard refresh, because this will be, yeah, now it got triggered. Okay, see the debugger pointer is hit. This is how the JavaScript we can debug step by step. Now see, previously I said you, right, the execution context. Now what is the execution context? It contains all the information. Just copy this execution context and go to console, clear everything and paste here, enter. Here you will get all the information. If you go to the form context, you will get all the information. What is the entity name, what is the entity reference, what is the global context, all this information you will get over here. Okay, and this is how we have to debug the logic, JavaScript logic in CRM system. Now go to by control by pressing F10, you can execute step by step. Okay, now see, the from execution context. Here from the execution context we get the form context, right? That form context now it is assigned to into this way form context variable. If you see this form context here, see these are the information, this is the data, entity, all this information we will get. So this is the entity ID, entity type, attributes name, all this information we will get over here. All this information basically it will come and store into this form context variable. From form context variable we will extract the fields basically. Okay, now from form context I'm getting this telephone one attribute, telephone form context dot get attribute of telephone one dot get value. Now I'm executing this line. See the telephone one, previously it was empty, now whatever the value in the telephone one variable, that value came and stored here itself. Okay, now the similar way here in this line we are getting the value of telephone one, but here we are not getting any value, just we are getting the attribute. See the attribute contains this information, from this information we will extract. Like this we have to check. Okay, now the telephone one, now here I'm checking whether this telephone one contains data. This mobile phone should be required labelized and otherwise it should be mandatory. So this field is contains data, this field is contains data, right? So that's why it will go to if loop and it will make the mobile phone as non-mandatory. See, mobile phone is non-mandatory. Now we will check the similar way, we will check on the on change also. On change. Now I'm deleting all the values from the mobile phone. Again it got hit, triggered our function. Okay, because now this condition will be, if condition will be fail, see it is null, it will not go to into this loop, it will go to else loop and this field will be made it as mandatory. See, this is the how we have to make field mandatory and non-mandatory by using JavaScript. Thank you.